that smile, that laugh. For nearly 2 decades, Tonya Terry's big personality got her morning started on Today in Alabama. And for Tonya, coming to work here at WSFA 12 News was like coming home. From spending her childhood watching this station to the years she spent kicking off our days to what it means to her to be part of this WSFA 12 News family. This was such a fun time to catch up with this lifelong Channel 12 viewer turned main character in this community. I'm Bethany Davis, and this is Being Real.
Sponsored by Bryan Jewelry.
But when you call me, I'll answer. And if you need someone to hold your hand, when you're lonely, I'll be there. I will give you everything I am.
Promise your everything with a diamond from Bryan Jewelry.
First, welcome back. I mean, what does it feel like to be back in the building? Because you actually got to work in this building.
I did work in this building for a little while. And how does it feel? Like, you know, if you get a new apartment or something, or a new home, it feels like I'm back in the new home. But it's not like being home, like I would feel at Delano. You know what I mean? I was here, but just for a little while. So it didn't start to feel like home yet before I said, I'm out of here.
You know, if I'm being honest, I'm kind of in the same boat. It still doesn't really feel like home. There's something special about that Delano. That as for everything that it was not, it was very much home.
Special. I feel like WSFA's soul is still there.
Yeah.
I feel like our soul is still at Delano. I remember I got hired on my 3rd attempt to work at WSFA.
Me too.
Shut up.
I didn't know that about you.
So we didn't get that 3rd strike, so we'd be out for good.
Right.
On that 3rd one, we hit a home run, right?
3rd time was the charm.
Yeah, because working at WSFA was a home run. It was a dream come true for me. So that building held a lot of getting turned away, coming back again. And that 3rd time, I remember talking to the guy that hired me. His name was Michael O'Neill. And I said, hey, I'm down here from Huntsville. My husband got a great opportunity. It couldn't have happened at a better time that my friend Joey Parker called me. And I said, and so don't make me drive 3 hours back to Huntsville without just letting me know if it's even a thing. He says, hey, it's not all my decision, but if it was, you'd have the job. And I was like, yes, Grandma's prayers worked, because we had a party for my grandma the day before, and we got in a prayer circle, and she prayed that I would get this job. She wanted me to. I mean, everybody wants you to work at WSFA. If this is what you do for a living, they want you to do it at WSFA.
Especially when you grow up in this area. This was the station that we grew up watching. It was the only one on the TV in my house.
It was. I mean, why change the channel?
Right.
I mean, first of all, you'd have to get up and go do it, and like this.
Those were the days. That was way
there
too much
were
work.
like three networks. I mean, it was CBS, NBC, and ABC, and WSFA. I don't know if it was where their tower was located or what, but their signal was the prettiest and the sharpest, and you know, the Today Show was on there, and all the things you like to watch, and so I remember sitting crisscross applesauce in front of the TV and watching it until it went off. You know, TV actually went off back then, and you had color bars.
That's right.
You know, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? That kind of thing. I watched that on NBC, on WSFA.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So to work here was incredible. It was a dream come true.
I remember when you came in for your interview.
Do you?
Yes, I remember meeting you for the first time.
I didn't walk in though. Did you notice? I mean, it was like a whirlwind. I was so excited.
But what I remember though is that it was just sort of a natural. It was such a natural fit.
Yes.
You know, like you walked in. I remember us having a conversation like, we had 100 conversations before, and we were going to have, obviously,
more.
a million more
Yeah.
after that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember walking in there and thinking, what a team. What a team. In front of the camera, behind the camera, when I met Andre or Jeff or who are our photojournalists forever. And then when I met Mark Bullock and Beth the Jet was a reporter here, and Ashley Anderson and Eileen Jones and Michael Burdell and Kim Hendricks, all these people that I just admired so much, and they were there in the flesh, and they were kind. You know how they said never meet your heroes? Right. I was happy to meet my heroes at WSFA. They were so kind to me, and I thought, even if it doesn't happen now, I'm going to try again. I was never going to give up until I started working at WSFA, but it worked out.
Yeah, but I think too, I feel the same way. We met our heroes, and then they became our friends.
Yes.
Which is pretty, that also doesn't usually happen.
Yeah, I was at a restaurant the other night that has jazz on Wednesday nights, and Eileen was there with some of her friends. And she didn't recognize me. She came running after me because somebody said, Tonya's leaving now. And she says, Tonya who? And they said, Tonya Terry, that used to be your coworker. She's like, what? And so she, you know how Eileen is. She came, Tonya. And I said, Eileen, she was like, you look different. And I was like, yeah, I am different. A lot has changed, Eileen. A lot has changed since we worked together. And I called her after that, and I wanted to see if she wanted to go see Downton Abbey, the movie, because she's the one who got me hooked on the show.
Remember those conversations in the newsroom.
Did you see it? Yes. Oh my God, it was so good. But she's over it, so we didn't go to the
Okay, well, never mind. That was a long time ago. So a lot has changed, even more.
It's like, you don't want to go? No, I'm over it. She's like, I'm done. I don't do Downton Abbey anymore. Oh, well, okay, good to know.
That's good. Yeah, you know.
But I love seeing folks out and about, like Judd. We saw each other at the DYW. We've been doing that about 15 years together now, hosting. And the one year I didn't go, you did it, and the rest is history.
And look where we are, right? That would have had to be longer than 15 years ago. I think you guys have been doing that a good while.
So, yeah, that's a whole other podcast, right?
We have you to thank for that.
I think you do. I think you do, yeah.
You can take some credit for
that.
Yeah.
But now, when Judd couldn't be there, Eric Sneidel did it, and we didn't end up together. So, you know, I can't take all the credit. It was just meant to be, I guess. But that's another guy, Eric Sneidel, that I'm in contact with, thank goodness for social media. Rob Hatchell, you know, Josh Johnson. I saw him in the airport the other day. So, yeah. Rob is crazy, by the way. He's so funny.
Always has been.
He's so funny.
Yes.
And I have so many great memories. So many great memories. Even when, one of my favorite memories is when Judd auditioned. When he was coming here, yes. I think it was kind of a done deal that he was going to come here.
It seemed that
but
way.
We didn't know which show. At the time, we didn't know which newscast. At the time, we had no male anchors. Everybody was gone. Burdell had gone to the city. What was his name? Barry Davis had just taken a job in Texas somewhere, I want to say. And so we were without an evening anchor, afternoon, or morning.
Wow.
Everybody was gone.
I realized we didn't have no
we didn't have anybody.
Girl power holding down the fort.
Holding down the fort. So he interviewed with myself. Kim was doing the Alabama Live and
the evening shows.
And the five, the five. I don't even think we had the four yet at that time.
We did.
And then there was a beautiful African American lady who was there before Val. I can't remember. Dolores Key.
Dolores Key.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he auditioned with all of us, right? And we went in order of seniority. So the evening ladies went first. I was last. And so they called me downstairs to the studio, and we started talking. And I can't remember, there was some story about a wedding and wedding cake. And we started talking about, we didn't like that you mushed the cake in the people's face. Like, where'd that come from? And blah, blah, blah. And so it was done, and we're sitting there chatting it up, and people come out from behind the scenes, and they said, how long have you guys known each other? I was like, I literally just met, and they're like, no way. no way. They're like, we thought you guys knew each other from college or something like. I was like, no, I literally just met him like 15 minutes ago, and but it wasn't like that. And so I knew when I auditioned with him, I said they would be crazy not to put him on this show with me. We were that good together.
Yes, you were.
And then I think Jeff Gerber was doing weather then, and we went through several meteorologists, but Judd and I were the constants, and that was pretty cool to have a teammate like that.
Oh my gosh.
He has no idea. I probably would have left TV 5-10 years before that if I didn't have such wonderful coworkers who, during those commercial breaks, kept me laughing, asked me about my family, asked me how I was doing. We were there when we lost our parents, or when our children were born, or we had a win in a football game or whatever. And so to have some people who, like you said, not only became my friends, but my surrogate family. You know, when I went through my divorce, or when I got diagnosed with arthritis and took 3 months off, Judd was the person who was calling to check on me. You called to check on me. We had our ups and downs, just like families do, our arguments, our name calling, our hugs, all the things. People brought their new babies in so we could see them and kiss them and smell them. Oh, that new baby smell. I just loved it whenever we had a new addition to the family. So yeah, it was a wonderful thing the day that Judd got hired, because it literally changed my life professionally and personally. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll say you two are a dynamic duo.
We were.
No question. Chemistry is not even, I mean, chemistry is the word people use, but I don't even think that's the right.
Should have brought napkins.
We should have bought some tissues.
Yeah.
I don't think chemistry is even the right word, but it's like you said, it was just like instant family.
Yeah.
That
he
came across to everyone.
It did, because it was
everyone.
genuine. It wasn't something we had to work at. It was. I had a Uncle Tracy who's passed away, but when I would call him, you know, he'd call me and say, "Hey, Uncle Tracy," and then from then on, he was Judd's Uncle Tracy. I remember my grandmother being in the hospital at Baptist South, and him coming by to visit her, and how it just made her day to see him, and he hugged her, and you know, he was dapping it up with all my uncles and all that. And I was like, this guy is crazy, and they loved him. Of course, my Uncle Tracy was a huge Alabama fan, so that helped too.
Yeah.
Because one thing about Judd, we were talking about, he's not great with names, but let it be on the back of a football jersey, he will never forget it.
No, and all the details that come with it. He'll know the height, the weight, the high school.
I would listen to him at Josh talk about whatever game from back in 1998, and it was, you know, 1st and goal, and I'm like, how do you even remember this stuff? But they did, and it was fun, even though I could not get in that conversation. I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. But it was fun to listen to them. They were buddies too. They have a special relationship too.
So I got to ask, what are some of the weirdest things people said to you? People that you don't know, but they felt like they knew you.
Well, your name, first of all, the way they say your name. Hey, Tonya Terry. They say the whole name.
The whole thing.
Or they come up and they want to hug you.
Yes.
You know, even during COVID, we're with 6 feet. 6 feet, sweet. We can't do this right now, you know. Or I never do this. You're out eating, you know, with the family. I never do this, but I had to come over here. You didn't have to. You didn't have to, but yeah, they said they had to. So yeah, that, and you're not as big as you are on TV, or what lipstick is that you wear, you know, on TV? So they like, or where'd you get that outfit, or whatever. Like it just those kinds of things. It was just normal things for a person who is in their house every day.
Right.
I did have a couple of marriage proposals. From people I did not know.
Okay.
And
That's
I
new.
found out that I was on a dating site or two when I wasn't. That you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
This guy goes, yeah, you know, I tried to get with you, and we talked for a long. I said, no, we didn't. I don't know who you are. What are you talking about? And yeah, turns out somebody was getting my pictures and my likeness off of my Facebook and Instagram, and had a whole profile, honey, of me on a dating site. So I don't know. I didn't get any dates out of it, but you know,
Somebody
did.
got something out of it.
They got something out of
Yeah.
it. So yeah. But most people want to know, you know, why I left or what I'm doing since then, and things like that. Just your normal questions that anybody would have. Yeah.
People do say things sometimes. You think,
Yeah.
I don't really know how to respond to that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But
you
most of the
just-
time when they say, what are you doing now? I say, whatever I want. And that's the truth. I do whatever I want. I have 3 grown children now, and 5 grandchildren. So, you know, when I was like you, when I was at WSFA, I had, you know, growing boys, and they were in school and in activities, and, you know, in the band and football and all that. And so a lot of my time was taken up, you know, with them, raising my sons. I have 3 sons. And now they're grown and have kids of their own. So when G-Mama wants to see the grandbabies, she can go see them, and then it's time to go, I'll see you next time. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so my life is totally different now, Bethany, than it was, especially when I started. When I started, I was married, 3 little boys, and yeah, and my whole life ahead of me. And now that I'm almost 56, I'll be 56 in November, everything's changed. I remember Oprah when she turned 50, and I was in my 30s, probably early 30s, I think, mid 30s. And she said, this is where it's at. And I was like, oh, old lady, you don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy. But yeah, when I turned 30, I literally don't even remember that. I was in the middle of, you know,
Yes,
being the
life was
wife
so
and the
lifey
mom, and work and all that. 40s, that divorce, like I said, the arthritis diagnosis, lost my mother, lost a grandson, a lot. So not my favorite years, but 50s. Oprah was right, as she is so many times. She was right. This is the best time of my life. Absolutely, hands down, not even close.
But when you call me, I'll answer. And if you need someone to hold your hand, and when you're lonely, I'll be there. I will give you everything I am.
Promise your everything with a diamond from Bryan Jewelry.
Do you, as we celebrate this 70th anniversary, do you ever think about or just take notice of the impact and the role that you've played in the history of Channel 12?
So much so that I don't think people can see me any other way or doing anything else. It's been hard for me to do my own thing because people, you're the news lady. And I'm like, not anymore. This is what I'm doing now. Let me talk to you about what I'm doing now. And so I have to convince them to allow me to level up and do something different, because they still, I'm that lady that came into their house every day and told them what happened while they were sleeping, and they don't want me doing anything else now. And I think that's sweet. That, you know, it's kind of like, you know, your sister's your sister. You know, even if she marries somebody, she's the wife, yes, and the mother, yes, but she's your sister. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get that. But yes, I get that a lot. I miss you, or I remember you, or just when I was downstairs coming upstairs to this interview, one of the people asked me, what is your last name? One of the security people. And I said, Terry, and the other 2 were like, how could you ask her that? You don't know who this is? And I was like, yeah, not everybody does, but a lot of people do. And a lot of people like what I did here. And that means the world to me.
I mean, It was about 20 years that you
Yeah.
worked here. That's a significant amount of time
It is.
to be you are part of the fabric of what has made Channel 12 what it is,
Yeah.
what it is today.
Yeah. Do you know how many hairstyles I went through? It was crazy.
Well, I lost count in like 2 years in. I don't know.
I mean,
And look at your hair now.
I know. Look at it now. It's just like I went through a lot of changes here,
Yeah.
and people were there for me every step of the way. It was, you know, I was still trying to figure out who I was in this community. You know, when you move to
Yeah.
a new city, a new place, you're trying to figure out how you fit in. When you join a part of a news team, you're trying to figure out, you know, where you fit. And how you could best serve the viewers. I remember I did the class act, and I at first I was like, I don't want to do this, but then when I went to the schools and the teachers were so surprised, and the folks that were working with them were so appreciative of us coming there and shining a spotlight on their school. I was like, this is so cool. I love doing this. It was fun. It was fun. So yeah, I do have some idea of the impact, but I don't know that we ever will. I don't know that we ever understand that. But what I do remember is the impact WSFA had on me, watching Bob Howell, watching Carrie Johnson and Bill Taylor, and thinking, how cute are they? And wanting them to get married because they were so cute. They were like Ken and Barbie. You know, they were like so cute. And even Joey, I worked with Joey Parker down at another station in Dothan, and that relationship that we built ended up getting me the information about the job here. And it was just like, you know, these people that I watched, that I loved, I imagine these people feel the same way about me. I just have to think back to when I was little and sitting crisscross applesauce in front of the TV, the console. It was like furniture, you know. It was like a big wooden console.
Big wooden thing.
So I would sit down there, and yeah, the open would roll, and bad weather might come through, and we were waiting to hear what Dan Atkinson said. We were hanging on Rich Thomas's every word. And so when we were in that similar situation, sometimes having to spend the night at the station or something like that because of the weather, yeah, I knew that people were there. They were in front of their TVs. They were listening to everything, and I never took for granted that we had to get it right. Yeah. It was very important that we got it right. And so, like I said, I loved doing it until it got to be a little bit much for me, and I felt like there was something else God wanted me to do. So again, that's why I say I don't look back, because I feel like that was time. It was just the right time. And shortly after I left here, I took my first trip. I love taking trips. I love to travel, but because of my schedule and all, I wasn't able to do that. So I went to Rio all by myself, because when I was little, probably watching WSFA, I would sometimes turn over to PBS and watch Sesame Street. That was one of my favorite shows growing up. I learned a little bit of Spanish. I learned the songs. I was the little kid that they had this thing called, one of these kids is doing his own thing, and they had 4 boxes, and you had to decide which one was different. Yes. Girl, I would yell at that. I was in it. I was in it. Loved it, okay? So, but there was one time where they took us to Rio to see, and they had the statue, you know, the yes. Christ the Redeemer. And I remember thinking to myself at 6 years old, I'm going. And so that was my first trip. After I left here, I got on a plane and went, and it was still kind of COVID-y. You know, a lot of people weren't traveling, but I did. I just put my mask on and had my Lysol wipes and wiping everything down, you know, doing all the things. And it got down there, and I remember being in the Uber and looking up, because you could see it from far away, and thinking, you promised your little 6-year-old self you were going to get here, and look at you. Look at you. There it is. And so I go up, you take this little, you take a escalator. There's 2 of them. You take one up the side, and you can kind of sort of see the front, then you take that other one, and you're at the base, you're at the foot of it. Girl, I can't even tell you that it was magical, beautiful, and I will never forget it. So that's what I've been doing. A lot of what I've been doing is creating some amazing memories.
Wow.
Amazing memories. Traveling the world, and literally was just in Chicago last week with a girlfriend of mine, celebrating one of our homeboys. He's from Troy, and he was, we were at his investiture ceremony. He was being inducted as the 22nd president of this university up there.
Wow.
Yes, so the first African American. And my friend Sheila Jackson, who you've interviewed many times, she does public relations for our little hometown in Troy, and she was singing, and I was the MC. And it was just a whole Troy reunion.
That's
and
pretty cool.
It was beautiful. We had a wonderful time. So not only am I celebrating life for myself, I'm celebrating other people's milestones, because as we get older, we hit those milestones. You know, their 50th birthday or 60th birthday, or, you know, my dad's 77 now. And I was in D.C. a couple of weeks ago, went back to the house where they lived when they had me when I was born in D.C. Yeah, so it's some of those things that you know, like I said, making memories. And my next big trip is Portugal in November. One of my friends, she moved from Austin, Texas to over there. She's an expat now, and I'm going to visit her. So so I'm just kind of doing what I want to do, and it's a beautiful thing. The kids are great, grandkids are great, so cute. Oh my gosh, my sweet granddaughter has been on your show too.
I know.
So she's a business owner.
I bought some cookies from her.
Junior CEO.
I did. Yes.
So yeah, things are good. Things are good.
Do you consider yourself a role model?
Yeah, I do. If for nobody else but my children and my grandchildren. Absolutely, I do. But there are people who are online and they say, you know, I saw you do this, or I remember when you spoke at my high school graduation, and I'm going, that was 10 years ago. You remember that? Yeah, they remember. So yes, you are too. We all are. It's a hard job. That is hard. To know that somebody's looking at you and how you move and what you say, so you have to be careful all the time. But yeah, I do know that I'm a role model, and I'm happy about it. I am.
That's a responsibility.
It is,
It's
but
a
I accept
responsibility.
it, and I know God wouldn't put any more on me than I can handle. So yeah, I think I'm up for the job.
Yeah.
I do.
When people ask you about Channel 12, what do you tell them now?
I tell them I miss it, but my time there was done. I miss it. It is great. I think it's great now. I think you guys do a fantastic job. I was, you know, watching the coverage of what happened over the weekend. I saw you down there doing your live shot. And I know that people still depend on this station. It's still a juggernaut in this industry. There are stations who wish they had the legacy, who wish they had the personnel, who wish they had the trust that you guys have built up over the years here. People trust you, and as they should. You have a great team here, and WSFA does a wonderful job, and I'm just so proud that I am a part of the history here.
And Tonya's not kicking off our days on TV anymore, but her light hasn't dimmed a bit. She's still shining, still laughing, and still being real.